Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, very excited about. We are doing a full face of my most affordable makeup products. If you watched my video last week, I did do the opposite of this video. I did a full face of my most expensive makeup products. That video, the makeup in there had a whopping price tag, which I'm not going to talk about today. Go watch that video if you haven't watched it. It was crazy. I don't want to say that number ever again. But today we have the task of completing a makeup look using the very most affordable makeup items in my collection from each different category. Now this video is not meant to dupe the look that we did in that video. I am simply using the most affordable makeup products to see if we can get a great makeup look using affordable makeup. I think just based on what I'm seeing right now and based on how everything performed, the answer I think is obvious. It is yes. I am very excited about this look that we came up with today. Going through my makeup, researching the price tags on everything and finding out what the most affordable things were, it was amazing to me how many of these products are actually some of my very favorites and not just because of their price. Also today I'm trying to use some of my more affordable brushes as well because I love affordable brushes. They can get the job done. I can't wait to show you guys what I came up with. The price tag at the end, it is shocking. I hope that you guys are excited about it as well. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you'll consider subscribing if you have not done that yet. And let's just get right into it. This is gonna be good. Kicking things off with my most affordable primer, we're going in with the Garnier Glow Boost Illuminating Moisturizer. It is one of my favorite hydrating primers, and if you buy this at Walmart, I don't know if you can get it at Target. I've seen it at Walmart and at Ulta. There are 2 full ounces in here, and it is $8 if you buy it at Walmart. If you buy it at Ulta, I think it's $11.99. So if you do have a Walmart nearby, and you've been wanting to check this thing out, it is much more affordable there. For foundation, we're going in with one of my favorites, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, the Dewy version. I love this foundation. It's not the most long-wearing foundation, but it does last me for a good solid 8-hour day, which is usually as long as I need my foundations personally to last. I have mine in the shade Soft Beige, which right now seems to be a pretty perfect shade match for me, which is always a bonus, right? It does smell interesting. It doesn't smell like the original Wet n Wild foundation. Every time I smell it, every time I use this thing, and I use it quite often, I wonder to myself, do I like this smell or do I not like this smell? There's something about it that I like, but there's something about it that I don't like. This is just such a pretty foundation. And the price on this thing, if you have a Walmart near you, that is where I have found it to be the most affordable. You can find it under $5 at Walmart. But I believe if you buy this at Target or at Ulta or even Wet n Wild's website, it's between $5 and $6. So still super, super affordable. For concealer, one of my favorite concealers that is so incredibly affordable is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I have 2 versions. I have the original 16-hour Camo Concealer and the Hydrating Camo Concealer. I like both of these concealers, and I actually don't think that they're significantly different. This one is just a little bit more hydrating, and I would say it's just a little bit more sheer. It's not quite as full coverage as the original. I still don't think it's the most hydrating concealer that I've ever tried, but I do really like it. It is super affordable. I want to mention though, if I use these concealers 3 or 4 consecutive days in a row, they do tend to break me out a little bit. I've heard a lot of you mention the same thing as well. But we're going to use both of them today. I have the hydrating one in the shade Fair Warm, and then I have the original one in the shade Medium Sand. So I'm going to start off by taking just a couple of dots of the Fair Warm concealer around my eyes, and then we're going to use the original Medium Sand to conceal a couple of spots I have on my face. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what happens when you put a concealer that can break you out on an actual breakout? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Alright, so I'm just going to blend that in with my sponge. Let me know if you guys have tried both of these concealers out, if you liked them both. The consensus that I've kind of gotten from just other YouTube creators that have tried this, I think a lot of people prefer the original. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the hydrating one. I like it, but I'm also someone I'm very, very light-handed with concealer because of just skin issues that I have in my experience with concealers. If I go too heavy-handed, they never work out well for me, so that might have something to do with why I can be a little more forgiving with concealer formulas, but let me know what you guys think if you've tried them out. For bronzer, I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer. This one is in the shade Sunset Striptease. This bronzer is so affordable, $3.99 if you buy this at Target. And I really love it. I love the formula of it. I think the color can be a little bit dark if I'm not careful and not light-handed with it, but it's very, very blendable. I love the formula. It's a very, I would say it's a matte, no, I would say it's a satin formula, so it has just the subtlest touch of a sheen. I know they have a couple of other shades as well, but I haven't tried those ones, but this is a really good shade for me. It's not too orange, but but it's also not so deep that I can't work with it. And it does blend really, really easily. I wish I could control the weather and the sun and could have filmed on a day when the sun would cooperate with me, because I feel like a lot of the differences that we might see in these makeup looks might not even actually be the makeup itself, but my lighting today, because it is morning and the sun is out with a vengeance, which is great other than when I'm filming. My most affordable blush is by far the Essence. The blushes, Essence blushes period, are so great and so affordable. These blushes are newer and I absolutely love them, but this is probably my very favorite one. This is the color number 10 Befitting. It's a beautiful, just very neutral kind of rosy pink. One thing I will note, as much as I love these affordable makeup products, a lot of them, if they have not broken, the lids haven't broken yet, a lot of them end up looking like this. I mean, even this one right here is only held on by the sticker at the back, which is a complaint a lot of people have about affordable makeup. The packaging does not hold up over time, and that can be a big deal to a lot of people, which I do understand. Moving on to highlighter, my most affordable highlighter is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This also happens to be one of my very favorite highlighters, period. This thing comes in at $4.99. This highlighter does now come in a couple of different shades. I'm using kind of the original shade. This is the shade 10, Be My Highlight. So I'm going to take that on my Luxie highlighting brush, which I just realized this is not really an affordable highlighting brush. Okay, we're going to take this on my BH Cosmetics highlighting brush. This came in one of their sets. I think it was their Rose Quartz set, which if they still have it, I will link that set down below. There are some really good brushes in that set. I don't love them all, but I like a lot of them. Let's move into brows, and for my most affordable brow pencil, I'm sure you can guess it, the e.l.f. Original Brow Pencil. This one is in the color Blonde. I have about 5 or 6 of these sitting in my makeup drawer, and most of them are just about gone, as this one is. But this is such a great brow product for those of you that are in a hurry, you're not wanting anything too precise, but you just want to quickly fill things in. I know I've mentioned this about 12 other times, but there's some new people here. In case you haven't heard me love on this brow product before, you do have to be really light-handed with this one though, because it's a very creamy brow pencil. It's not as stiff as some of the other ones that I love and use. I'm sorry guys, this sun is absolutely killing me. And if you are wondering what that sound is, my kids are vacuuming upstairs. And normally I'd be annoyed about that, but man, my kids are doing their chores. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. I'll take the noise. I'll take the background noise. For my brow gel today, we're going to go in with the e.l.f. Clear Brow Gel. I've been using this off and on for the last 4 years or so. In fact, before I used to fill in my brows, I would buy this and just throw a little bit of this in my brows to get them to stay in place. And I think it's a great little brow product. I've tried a couple of other ones, including some more expensive ones, and this one I feel like holds my brows as well as a lot of the more expensive ones that I've tried. It is more of a wet brow gel than like a powdery kind of natural finish brow gel. Like say, I think the Gimme Brow is more like that. The ColourPop Brow Boss Gel, the Essence Make Me Brow. Those ones are all kind of less wet and stiff, a little bit more kind of a soft powdery finish. So if that's your thing, you may not like this, but if you just want something to hold them in place for $2, this thing is great. All right, we are going to move into the eyes. We're going to start off with a little bit of eye primer. I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer. I love this stuff. It is my favorite eye primer, and not just for the price. I just think it performs really, really well. It really holds my shadows in place all day long. It keeps them from creasing on this inner part of my lid. It keeps them from transferring over here where my outer corner sometimes touches my brow bone. And I'm going to set that in place with one of my favorite affordable powders. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. This powder you can find at Target or Walmart or really anywhere. Walgreens for around $3 or $4. It is super affordable and it's just a good, simple powder. It doesn't really give you a lot of coverage. Very simple powder, but it does a great job. Next up for eyeshadow, you might be able to guess, we're going to be using my most affordable eyeshadow. It is the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow Palette. This one is in the shade Cream and Sugar. This is the one that we're going to be using today. I do have a topper that we're going to put on though, because I did use an eyeshadow topper in my most expensive video. I use the Hourglass Scattered Light Shadows and I have a really good alternative for those. So we're going to use that in addition to these today, but these are great little shadows. For the price, I just don't think anybody can really beat these. So we're going to start off, I'm going to go in with a mix of this dark brown and this lighter tan shade right here. The only thing I will say about this specific palette is it doesn't include a good transition shade. I feel like this shade is going to be a little bit too light for me and this shade is way too dark. And it's kind of tough to get an in-between with these two colors because this is kind of a cooler tone brown. But we're going to do our best. Some of the other palettes have really good transition shades in them. which is why I think with these palettes you really need a couple of them to like maximize what the palettes can do and their versatility. But we're gonna make this one work today, so I can prove to you guys that $3 can get the job done. Okay, I'm actually gonna take this shimmer right here. We're gonna try applying this kind of into my crease or just on this outer lid. See if we can kind of make this double as a, not really a transition shade, but just work this into the crease a little bit before we go in with that darker brown. And I'm using my Morphe M504 brush, which is one of my favorite, more affordable blending brushes, which you probably know if you've watched even a handful of my videos. These shimmers are actually pretty reflective, even with a fluffy brush. Not all shimmers are like that or perform well with a fluffy brush, but these seem to be working really well. Now it's a very soft, simple look right now. We are going to deepen up that outer corner. I'm going to take my Morphe M507 brush and dip that into the dark brown. And I really want to concentrate this sort of by the lash line and then pull it up just slightly. I do think you have to be a little careful with these dark shades in these palettes. They can be a little bit patchy if you're not careful. So I think it's better to go in with a really light hand and almost kind of tap them on. Now I want to take this Juvia's Place small buffer brush. I'm going to take that shimmery shade that we used all over the lid and pack a little bit of that on this brush and then run it on this lower lash line right here. I usually don't like to run shimmers on my lower lash line, at least not all the way across, because I have a lot of fine lines under here and they definitely emphasize fine lines. And now I'm going to take that same brush and just on the very, very tip of it, I'm going to dip this into the dark brown, and we're going to add this just to the outer third of the lower lash line. I feel like that looks pretty good as it is. I would normally go in with this shade right here, but I have a different topper shade that we're going to use instead. We might use this still on the very innermost corner in a little bit, but you could totally stop here. I think this looks amazing, but today we're going to jazz things up just a little bit more with this right here. This is from JCat Beauty. This is their Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousse. These are so beautiful. I believe I first heard these talked about by Kathleen Lights, and you can find these at Ulta for around $4 or $5. They're actually on sale right now for $4.19. The one I'm using today is in the shade Chrome Galaxy. It's kind of a champagne gold, maybe even like a rosy champagne gold. It is a beautiful, beautiful lid shade. I'm just taking that on my finger, and we're going to tap that on the inner half of the lid. One thing I will say about not just these, but actually even the scattered light shadows, the ones that are really, really foiled and reflective, they will definitely emphasize some texture on your lids. So be aware of that. If you're careful, you can still get them to work by using them in a little bit more of a light-handed way. But man, look at that shine. Is that not so pretty? Now I'm going to go back in with that M507 brush. There's nothing left on this brush. I'm just lightly buffing out the edge where that shimmer ended, just so it's not harsh. Okay, I am going to add just a little bit on my inner corner. Let's go in with that champagne color. And I'm going to take my M507 brush. We're going to spray a little bit of setting spray in the back of my hand and lightly tap this brush into that setting spray just to wet the very tip of it. Then we're going to dip it into the champagne color from the e.l.f. palette, and we will use that on our inner corner. That works really well. You could also use a more kind of flat brush, and you wouldn't really need to wet your brush if you use a flat brush. But if you really want some punch, wet your brush. That's pretty intense, maybe too intense. Next up, eyeliner. We're going from a $22 eyeliner in my high-end video to my lovely 99-cent Wet n Wild Simma Brown. Now you guys know how much I love this liner. Today we're just going to add a little bit of this to my outer waterline. Quiet, guys. And then I'm going to add just a little bit here to the top of my lash line. For mascara today, I have a couple that I wanted to mention. First off, the Essence Volume Stylist Mascara. I love this mascara. It gives you great volume, and I actually think it gives you even more length than it does volume, and it stays in place all day long. It is a little bit difficult to remove, so keep that in mind, but if you want something that's almost waterproof, this is a great one. $5, super affordable, but one that is even more affordable that you guys know that I love, and I couldn't not talk about it today or use it today, is the Tony Moly D-Light Circle Lens Mascara. I did kind of a farewell to this mascara thinking that it was completely gone, but it's actually coming back. I think that it's back in stock in a couple of places. YesStyle still doesn't have it in stock, I believe, but I did see it in a couple of other places that I will link for you guys down below. This mascara you can find between $3 and $5. I paid about $3.99 for it from a K-beauty website called Stylevana. That order I actually ordered before the whole coronavirus thing. I just got it last week, so it took a long time to get here. I know a lot of that is due to the circumstances right now, but no matter where you buy this, it's very likely going to be coming from overseas. So keep that in mind. This is going to take a while to get to you. It's not the most easy thing to pick up. It's not the most accessible for everyone, but if you don't mind waiting a little bit, for $3 or $4 or $5, this stuff I absolutely love. It's amazing. It gives me such great, incredible length and volume, and it really curls my lashes, which I am not even someone that I feel like I look for that in a mascara until I really saw what this does for my lashes. It holds them at like straight up attention all day long. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to take this one today and hopefully show you guys what it can do. So a couple places online that I saw this mascara, one of you mentioned Julesy as a website that carries this one. I did see it on there. I haven't ordered from that one before, but one of you mentioned you had, and it seemed to work out for you. And I think I saw another one. I will link them down below. Just be aware, I haven't ordered this mascara from anywhere except for Yes Style and Stylovana. The other websites I have not used, so I can't really comment on the reliability, the safety of ordering from there, their shipping. You'll have to kind of do your own research, but I will link them down below for you. So here's a look at the finished eyes, the mascara. Hopefully you guys can kind of see just how much drama and intensity this mascara gives. One more thing to note though about the mascara, be sure to keep a clean spoolie on hand while you're using it because occasionally it can get a little bit clumpy, especially on the lower lashes, but nothing a quick little brush with a spoolie can't help you out with. Moving on to the lips. For lip liner, I have this liner right here from Essence. This is their 8-hour waterproof lip liner. I have it in the shade Because Duh. This liner is so incredibly affordable, $2.99 at Ulta. The only negative I have about this lip liner is their shade range. Number one, they don't have a big shade range, and also it's very difficult to tell what those shades are when you're looking online. They look like they're all very, very deep. This shade, which is the shade Because Duh, is kind of a lighter nude pink, but it looks very dark on their website, so it's hard to gauge what the colors are going to look like. I have one more shade that I picked up from them recently. This one is in the shade Keep Receipts, and I don't like it as much. It's a very pink, but at $2.99 this is a great little lip liner. It does last really, really well on my lips, and it's a very creamy lip liner that is super easy to apply. So we're going to put a little bit of this on. I always like to smudge out the line with the clean finger when I'm done, just so it doesn't look too drawn, you know. Alright guys, let's move into our lipstick. For my most affordable lipstick, another one of my favorites, and not just because it's affordable. It is from Wet n Wild. This is their Mega Last Shine lipsticks. These are $1.99 if you can find them at Walmart. I find that these are a little bit tricky to find, but you can find them on Wet n Wild's website, and there they are $2.99 a piece, which is still such a great price. The one I'm using today is the shade Close Off, which is kind of a nude peachy pink right there. And these lipsticks truly have such good amount of shine to them that you really don't need a gloss on top of them. Alright, for lip gloss, one of my favorites, and has been a favorite of mine for a very, very long time, is this one right here. This is the NYX Butter Gloss. I am sure you guys have heard of these. You can find these for around $5 at Ulta, at Walmart, at Target. I think even CVS carries NYX. The shade that we're going to use today is one of my favorites that I feel like is a little underrated. This is the shade Madeline. It's a very brownie nude peach. There it is right there. Has a good amount of sheerness to it, so if you're wearing a lip color or a lip liner underneath, it will let some of that color kind of shine through, but it's also not too light. Oh, is that not so pretty? Oh, that's a pretty lip combo. I think I like this lip combo more than I liked my high-end combo. Just saying. We are down to the very end, setting spray. Now I am not someone that owns a lot of setting sprays, and I don't use setting spray on a daily basis, but the one that I do own that is the most affordable is the Catrice Dewy Glow Setting Mist. There's just 1.69 ounces inside here, but it is pretty affordable. It's $7.99, but I want to mention one more setting spray that was kind of a runner-up. I had a hard time deciding between these two because this one is more expensive from the get-go, but it is a bigger bottle, and this is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. Love this setting mist so much. There are almost 4 ounces inside this bottle. It is $12 from ColourPop's website. Also, I think Ulta has this for $12. But again, ColourPop is one of those brands that often has sales, and if you can find this thing on sale, I think it is so worth the price. But today we're going to use the Dewy Glow by Catrice. Oh, and that mister, like 2 sprays and your whole face is covered. Alright you guys, and here is the completed makeup look, a full face of my most affordable makeup. So the grand total for today's makeup look was $66. Yes, 10 times less than the high-end version. And honestly, I feel like this looks just about as good, if not as good or better, let me know your thoughts, as the high-end version. That is crazy to me. Why in the world do I spend money on high-end products? Okay, one small reason is because of situations like this. This doesn't happen very often with higher end products, but hopefully this video goes to show you guys that you do not need to spend a lot of money to get a really great makeup look from start to finish, not skipping any steps. And to be perfectly honest, I could easily trim like 4 or 5 things off of this makeup look because I don't always use setting spray, don't always use powder, I don't always use lip liner or lipstick, primer. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could have trimmed this down if I really needed to, and it probably would have looked just as good. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you saw the other video, the high end, which one do you think won? Which look do you like better? I would also love to know from you guys, what is one of your favorite affordable makeup products that you think is as good, if not better, than high end? Leave them down in the comments below. Perhaps there's something I haven't tried, something I can discover myself. One final note, this video, or these videos I should say, is by no means me making a statement that drugstore is better than high end. That is a very complicated question that is not always just about price. It is different for all of us. We all value different things. We all have different budgets, different makeup preferences, maybe skin sensitivities. There are a lot of things to consider when it comes to buying makeup, and it's not just about the price tag. But for those of you that are on a tighter budget, maybe you feel like you're missing out on something because you can't buy this amazing, beautiful, expensive makeup that so many people seem to be raving about all the time. You don't necessarily need to. There are some great affordable products out there. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are all doing well. One final reminder, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do that before you leave, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. What is going on with this hair? Why can't you just behave? The grand total for today's makeup look, I haven't calculated yet. Where's my phone? But that's not really what this video is about. That's okay. Just move on. Move on. Man, I gotta say, Essence, e.l.f., and Wet n Wild. How would we live without you? Seriously? That made up 90% of the products I selected today. Prime and Fine, Dewy, Glow. Oh, you found the recorder. Cool. My favorite.
This is a flute.
It's a flute?
I blew like this.
Oh, wow, that's loud. Do you remember where we're gonna go?
At Grandma's.
Where?
At Grandma's.
To Grandma's? What are we gonna do at Grandma's?
Catch frogs.
Catch frogs, huh? Wow.